The whole of the question engizokhuluma ngayo inama marks awu 14, total marks yalana it's 14, which constitutes 10% of the paper. That is 10%. 14 ngoba iphepha lo 150. So 10% wakhona or 15. So it's almost 10% of the paper. Now, the question, the metal surface is illuminated with ultraviolet light of wavelength. Now we are dealing here now with an ultraviolet light. Ultraviolet light. Ilama rays astamga elangeni ilanga lisinikeza ultraviolet light. Ikho kubona le symbol kuthiwa UV ultraviolet light. Now, ama ultraviolet light asuka from lento nayo ayayidala i-photoelectric effect. Ubona abantu beba no skin cancer ingoba lama rays from the sun ayangena la akhipha ama electrons lapha kuwena, kungena ama photons, kuliyani wena, party yani i-cancer ngoba adala i-photoelectric effect. So each time kumele sikugade lokho kunjengama x-rays. I-x-ray khona la fanele protecteke khona ngoba mengena ama x-rays emzimbeni wakho, especially kubantu abayithwele, amantombazana ayithwele, mengena nje leyangane phakathi leyani iyophuma say nama complications. Mhlawumbe iyophuma ihlo laphansi kwesilevu, uyothi mephuma nawe ubalekela ingane yakho kanti awazi ukuthi wena odale yento. So a metal surface is illuminated with ultraviolet light. So we have ultraviolet light, UV of wavelength. We are given the wavelength of 330 nanometer. 330 nanometer to meter. It will be 3,3 times 10 to the power minus 7 meters. 3,3 times 10 to the power minus 7 meters. But electrons are emitted from the metal surface. As you shine, as you illuminate a metal surface with ultraviolet light, siyathola ukuthi leyo metal surface emits electrons. So but the minimum amount of energy required to emit electron, the minimum, that smaller energy that is required to emit electrons from the surface is, so here the minimum amount that requires to emit electrons from the surface of this metal, that is the work function. Work function of that metal is 3,5 times 10 to the power minus 19 joules. I-underline by underline about the minimum amount. We should the work function. What is the work function? The minimum amount of energy required. You need that amount of energy, small, that minimum amount, that low energy keep my electrons from the surface of this metal. So we should pass the work function. Name the phenomenon illustrated above. Which is illustrated above. That phenomenon, it is photoelectric effect. 1 mark. Give one word or term for the underlined sentence in the above paragraph. Give one word. Underline asinikeze nje igama elilodwa lana ngishilo ngathi yini i-work function. That is work function. Imali imaki lelo. Calculate the frequency of the ultraviolet light. So what is the frequency? So the frequency of the ultraviolet light is C over lambda. What is C? 3 times 10 to the power minus plus 8. 3 times 10 to the power 8 over what? 3,3 times 10 to the power minus 7. 3,3 times 10 to the power minus 7. So what is the frequency alapo? Yo. Sesithola la So sesithola 9 times 10 to the power, we have 15 to the power 14 to the power 14 hertz. 9 times 10 to the power 14 hertz. Well, let me say 15 then yeah, to the power 14 hertz. So we have that. In fact, it's 9,09. It's more accurate. 9,09. You got 9 times. About 9,09 or 9,1. I guess we are a question. Manjinking ayako, you're social media, Niko Pamwako. Manje 9,1 round of it. Usase correct nalapo mote 9,1 4 marks leo. So nansi ke esiyaqala ke equation enye kuthiwa the intensity or ETAS tattoo, calculate the kinetic energy of photoelectrons emitted from the surface of the metal when the ultraviolet light shines on it. Calculate the kinetic energy. Okay, sifuna kinetic energy. Siyazi ntina na, siyazi energy of a photon is equals to the work function plus kinetic energy. Energy of a photon is equals to the work function plus kinetic energy. So what is energy of a photon? The energy of a photon, it's the energy of a photon, it's HF. Work function here too is 3,5 times 10 to the power minus 19 plus kinetic energy. So what is HF? What is H? Our H is 6,63 times 10 to the power minus 34 times frequency is 9,09 times 10 to the power 14 times 10 to the power 14 is equals to 3,5 times 10 to the power minus 19 plus kinetic energy. Sibone la sizoba nani la we have right kwazi kwamnandi madoda so we have 6,02 akengibone 6,02 times 10 to the power minus 19. Yeah, 20 minus 19, which is equals to 3,5 times 10 to the power minus 19 plus kinetic energy. Right, siya transpose manje sigcina sesinani, kinetic energy will be equals to 6,02 times 10 to the power minus 19 minus 3,5 times 10 to the power minus 19. 3,5 times 10 to the power minus 19. So what do we have? Okay. 2,52 times 10 to the power minus 19 joules. That is kinetic energy. Omunyu 4 marks lo, omunyu 4 marks ukuthola lento. Sesinabo 4 marks ababili u8 nalabo 1 ababili u10. Sesisalele u4 manje ukuze sithole u14 sithole total. Sesiya kwi total manje. Siya kwi total. Awuphendule ngalendlela ukuthi nalomuntu okumakelayo avesene amake imemorandum yakhe ebheke ephepheni lakho. Ebona ukuthi abone seyoqeda ukuthi hayibo bekumele ngiphendula ngimaka ngapha ngilento ngoba wena yobe somnikeze yonke into oyidingayo, so akube into enjalo. Ake sibheke ke uquestion le lo 4 marks okugcina osele. Sithini ngalo 4 marks okugcina osele? Lana ke bese sebethi ke when the intensity of ultraviolet light illuminating is now increased, uma unyusa i-intensity, uma unyusa unyusa ama-number of photons. Once we increase the intensity, which means we increase the number of photons. Ekunyukeni kwama-number of photons bakwethu aku-affect i-energy of photon. The energy of photon is still the same, and the kinetic energy of photoelectrons will still be the same. Ngoba i-energy of photon affects the energy, the kinetic energy of photoelectrons. Only on one condition: if the energy of photon is greater than the work function. If the energy of photon is greater than the work function, once the energy of photon is increased, once the energy of photon is increased, this increases the kinetic energy. But now, in this case, akunyuswa energy of photons, akunyuswa frequency, kunyuswa the intensity. Intensity kunyuswa ma photons aba maningi with the same energy, but the photons aba maningi. Me maningi kuzoba ikuphi kuzoba kuningi na photoelectrons. Ama electrons that will be released azoba maningi, kodwa hayi nge-kinetic energy. Kinetic energy will still be the same. I guess it's a good pattern mbuzo wabo. The intensity of ultraviolet light illuminating the metal is now increased. What effect will this change have on the following? What effect will have on the following? Kinetic energy of emitted photoelectrons. Now, the kinetic energy of emitted photoelectrons angeke affected. Increase, decrease, or remain the same. So your answer will be remain the same. It will remain the same. But the intensity does not affect the kinetic energy. The intensity affects the number of electrons. I guess this will underline. What effect will this change have on the following? Number P corner. The number of photoelectrons emitted per second. That's okay. The number of photoelectrons that are emitted per second will be increased. So upala increases. Our value decreases and remain the same, or increase. Good question, which is out of this world. That's a good question. Science, some of the questions, do you apply them in life? Ungathi how to maseko bengekho azange sayifundisa ungibulele manje sengifuna i-refund ye school fees. You must be able to apply ethi question le. Noma ungayifuna mhlambe khona lapha kuma question kuma textbook. Kodwa mhlambe bengekho ke phela ungablame i-textbook. Bafuna ukucheck ukuthi ulalele yini. Ithi overexposure to sunlight causes damage to skin cells. Overexposure to sunlight. Yobona belungu beya laphana beach bathi bayo suntanner. Bese bagcina sebena bathi bayo suntanner. To tan it means brown. Bafuna ukuthi ikhumba zabo zibe brown. Bazama ukuthi zibe brown ukuze zikwazi ukuba nemelanin. Thina vele si brown sine melanin. Yikho lokhu singenayo skin of ama ultraviolet lights awasihluphi kakhulu. Manje ubona nomuntu wakithi nje emnyama khushi use beach naye uthi uya suntanner. Hawu abelungu abasantenayo wena u-brown vele so it's about 10 watt. What type of radiation is sunlight is said to be primarily responsible for this damage? What type of radiation? Ultraviolet. Sunlight sibalekele ultraviolet. Yikho lokhu mobona ama perfume ama sunscreen. Uyibheke sunscreen uyifunde laphana bathi it protects you from UV rays, ultraviolet rays. Ngoba bayazi ukuthi those rays can cause photoelectric effect. Bese kuphumile sonama photons bese sesithi unani ne skin cancer. Name the property of this radiation responsible for the damage. Yini property ye ultraviolet light that is responsible for the damage? It is the frequency. The frequency njengoba ihamba njena ihamba in a form of a wave, so in a frequency, so this is responsible for the damage of the skin. Uma sowuphendule kanjalo 14 marks wonke uyaziqhawula uyajabula ukuthi hayi kwaze kwamnandi ukuba kule ndaba lethu.